indeed, on the second day of March 2018. A pleasant good afternoon. Welcome to OK Conversation here on 99.5. Wherever you are joining us from this afternoon, I'm humbled having you as my guest. It's on the Friday afternoon, and I'm right here. My name is Wholquoi Yeahgar. On this segment of the program, well, I say thanks a million and good afternoon, good morning to all of you who are joining us from Liberia. And our African proverb of the day says, "He who fears the sun will not become chief." That comes from Uganda. It's a Ugandan proverb. It says, "He who fears the sun will not become chief." What a bright Friday afternoon in Liberia. You just can't live in a glass house and throw stone. It's going to be dangerous for you, right? I know you know that. Yes, indeed. So we have to acquaint you with the weather situation from Monrovia and to get you informed about what's happening in Liberia as it relates to the weather. On this Friday afternoon, it's still mean that it is 83 degrees Fahrenheit. And by the evening hours, it's going to be mostly cloudy. The wind here stands at 10 mph, and humidity level in our country is 79. Well, let's run through other weather situations across Monrovia this afternoon. I'm told that around Clay is around 28 degrees Fahrenheit. That is sun. There's a sunny day in Monrovia. Bensonville stands at 29 degrees. Breville is around 29 degrees Fahrenheit. West Point, those of you who are around West Point, or those of you who probably want to visit the West Point area, so that you know, is around 29 degrees Fahrenheit. And the Crown Hill area, that's in the central part of Monrovia, stands at 29 degrees Fahrenheit. The Bassard community, around the Bassard community, is 29 degrees. Sinker, those of you who are around the Sinker, so that you know the weather situation around Sinker is 29 degrees. And clearly around the Plunkett area, I'm told from the weather report here that it stands at 29 degrees. And around the Lakpasi area is 29 degrees. But interestingly, the Marshall area stands at 31 degrees, and it's showing the sign of rain around that area. So that if you're traveling around that side of the country, so that you know that it is 31 degree point in there, there will be a bit of rainfall around that side. That's what the weather report is telling me this second day of March 2018. And just to acquaint you with a bit of our international news, it's been reported in the last 5 minutes on the BBC that in Burkina Faso, there is an attack. At least 4 persons are reported dead and several others injured. Gunmen strike in Ouagadougou. I'm told that is closely around an embassy in that country. There was an attack 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, there was an attack there around Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso. To come to Liberia here so that you are informed, President George Weah is in Bombing. He picked up this morning heading to Bombing County, and there in Bombing County, President Weah will dedicate the judicial complex in Bombing County. This is part of his tour of the country. The president was able to have his first international visit also of Liberia, visiting the 3 countries. Back in Liberia, he continued to travel other parts of the country so that the people can feel his presence. And so while in Bombing County, President Weah will dedicate the judicial complex in that county. We are hoping to join Yanti Tukbar. I'm told Yanti is around the waterside belt, and so we will try to hook up with Yanti on the line this afternoon, where the Commerce Ministry is carrying on an inspection. That inspection, I'm told the ministry have been able to discover expired goods at the waterside market. They've been able to discover, but we will talk about that just so you know on the program, giving you the liner of what we intend to talk about on the program this afternoon. And we will try to lift this situation. Senator Milton Tieje reacted today to Senator Joseph Nangbe and Representative Zarzar, Matthew Zarzar, press conference yesterday. He have reacted strongly and in fact declaring himself as a man of Sino County that is being favored by his fellow kingsmen. We will talk about that. But on the program this afternoon at 4 o'clock, we will play host to Representative Matthew Zarzar of Sino County. He will be here. We'll try to expand on what is unfolding. It said some individuals are saying things are falling apart from Sino County. We want to understand from him as to whether things are really falling apart from Sino County. So he will be here to share the platform at 4 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock this afternoon, we will also have Representative Francis Dopoe. But when he comes, we will talk about national issues in the country. We will look at the educational sector of the country, talking about peace. So national issues, we will try to talk about youth empowerment or development. We will try to look into issues surrounding the forward march of Liberia on this presentation of the program. We'll take a bit of the theme song, and when we are back, we will acknowledge some of your comments coming to the live feed on the Facebook. We'll try to acknowledge some of your comments on this presentation of Orchid Afternoon Conversation on this wonderful Friday in Monrovia. Please stay tuned. Don't you go away. So yes, indeed, this is the line out of the program. But so let's acquaint you now as we are running into the program, trying to acquaint you with what happened on this day. Today is the 2nd of March. Now we try to run across the country or run across the world to establish some of the happenings on this day, the 2nd of March. And according to history, in 1995, it was the top quark discovered. The existence of the elementary Paso, the bottom quartz counterpart, have been presumed since the 1970s. 1970, the Rhodesia, Rhodesia declares itself an independent republic. Just so you know, on this date, in 1970, Rhodesia declared itself an independent republic by serving the country's ties with the United Kingdom, with Prime Minister Ian Smith attempted to prevent the institution of black majority rule. And 1969, the Concorde takes off on its maiden flight. That is the airliner was retired in 2003 after Air France flight 45 Nantes crashed shortly after a takeoff from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport on July 25, 2000. 1959, the Miles Davis Records Kind of Blue. It is considered the best selling jazz album in history and one of the most influential works of jazz music ever produced. 1993, that is 1933, in fact, the Film King, that is the Film King Con premieres. The black and white movie marked a milestone in the history of film, especially due to the Willis O'Brien stop motion effects. Yes, there were some breaths on this date been recorded in history. 1968, Daniel Craig, English actor. An English actor was born on this day. 1962, John Bon Jovi, an American singer, songwriter, producer, actor, also someone who plays the guitar very well. 1931, Mark Hill was born on this day, the Soviet lawyer, politician, president of the Soviet Union, and Nobel Peace Laureate. 1904, Dr. Seuss, American author, poet, and illustrator. 1900, Kurt Weill, German or American composer. And there were some deaths also recorded on this day. Today is March 2, just so you know. 1999, the Dusty Springfield, English singer and producer, died on this date in 1999. In 1991, the Serge Gainsbourg, the French singer and songwriter and actor and director, died on this date. In 1982, Philip K. Dick, an American author, he died on this day. And in 1930, D.H. Lawrence, English novelist, died on this day. And finally, 1619, Annie Denmark died on this day. Let's acknowledge some of you who are joining us on this presentation. I'm told Francis M. N. Johnson is watching live from GSA Road, Painesville. John Swire, let's get John Swire from this end. John Swire is watching from Lebanon. He says, Dola, Dola Red is watching and following this broadcast. Anthony Nimber says, good afternoon, OKFN. Just woke up to watch you live from Australia, where it's 2:12 Saturday. That is the 3rd of March 2018. The hearing trial issues in Lower Nima is trending on social media that Prince Johnson has replaced a deputy superintendent appointed. That is okay. Martin O'Boyman is watching from a Christian community, he says, in Painesville. That's in Liberia here. Levi Tyan is following this broadcast from Pennsylvania. Edward Balai is watching from Pennsylvania also. And so as you join us on this presentation, we'll try to acknowledge that you are joining us. Aliyu Kanen is joining us from South Korea. Jesus Pekin, he says, Boyen is watching from his little corner in Johnsonville. Yeah, so we will continue to acknowledge your presence as you join us on this presentation. But like I said, some training issues in the country, and we'll try to do our best to have you being a part of the presentation this afternoon. But interestingly, like I said, President George Weah is in Bomi County as part of his visitation of the country. President Weah is in Bomi County, I'm told, to dedicate the judicial complex. You know that the rule of law is key to the forward march of this country, and infrastructure development or the housing units, or allowing people to have the very good shelters that will host them to carry out their functions effectively, is a key priority for the pro-poor government of President George Weah. So as part of that, President Weah has traveled with his delegation to Bomi County to ensure that the judicial complex is dedicated and that people can have access to said facility in the discharge of their functions. The Commerce Ministry, and this is the most interesting part of the program this afternoon, the Commerce Ministry, as you are aware, of recent find an entity in the country the sum to be paid, and I'm told that said amount has been paid into government's revenue. Said amount, I'm told, was paid around the 28th of February by the foreign entity. They've paid that in government revenue. But interestingly, today, they continue the inspection process, which is welcoming, that we are able to monitor things or commodities that are being consumed by Liberians and other nationals. So as part of the inspection today, there were several expired goods been discovered. Over the time, we've heard not much about this Commerce Ministry, and people have continued to blame, Liberians have continued to blame the Commerce Ministry for being slow and not being robust in tracking down those who are engaged into the sales of expired products on the Liberian market. Now, the Commerce Minister, Professor Wilson Tappe, has been very much instrumental since he took over and ensuring that they can monitor products or commodities that are being consumed by Liberians on a daily basis. And so he is not sitting behind a desk as a minister of that ministry, and Liberians are crying and crying without listening to them. So in order to be more robust, he has chosen to have a team that will monitor from start to end across the country products that are being sold, goods that are being sold, those things that are to be consumed, or the ones that are to be used outside of our on our body. So they are ensuring that they can regulate that process, because now if the Commerce Ministry will sit and sit like people complain years back that the Commerce Ministry was a ministry or a sleeping giant ministry and allowing things or harmful things come into the country, and Liberians were consuming those things. And at the final analysis, you will understand that when people consume contaminated products or commodities, things that are already expired, when people consume those kind of commodities, the aftermath of that is to come down with an illness. And if you are buying something for maybe $50 from a shop or a store or a supermarket or pharmacy, you are purchasing something that is closely around 50 Liberian dollars, and that commodity has already gotten expired, and probably or allegedly you have people recycling those things and trying to change the dates, the expiration dates, and bringing new dates on the commodities, and people are taking those issues in, or the commodities in, the expired commodities in. We are going to have a country in the coming days, in the coming months or coming years. We're going to have a country that people are not going to be well. And we all are reminded of the common parable or the common adage in our country that says a healthy people make up a healthy nation. And you are reminded of the 2014 situation in the country. When the Ebola situation hit us, this country, we had to declare a state of emergency in order to tackle the Ebola situation. Thanks to God Almighty, several of our brothers, several relatives, and Liberians died because of the outbreak. I'm wondering why, even if this is to give you some profit, if you are to have some profit at the end of what you are doing, if what you are doing is in the name of obtaining profits, you have to understand that you are a human being, and those who will come to purchase the commodities are also human like you are. Why would you want to risk their lives when you understand that this is harmful for the body, and you are going to change it allegedly and put in a new date or expiration date to the commodity, only that people will come to buy such because you have brought those things into the country and you want to make your money. Now someone says that it's better to have something and not to have anything at all. That is probably if you are wanting something or you want something in the process, and someone is telling you that I'm able to give you a portion of that, and you're going to say to the person, what I need the full amount, or I need the full quantity of what I'm asking you for. It's better to have someone purchasing, if there are maybe 5 or 6 pieces on the shelf, and people are able to purchase it at a very reasonable price, so that the goods will go instead of it leaving on the shelf and the time will expire, and you want to allegedly change the dates and come back to the market and put it on the shelf so that people will buy it. That is detrimental to our health. And so the Ministry of Commerce have decided to be very robust, and they are going. And so as you go on, Liberians are saying to you that this is not the time that you compromise, and you have to stand firm, because the only way to get things happening in this country, from all of what I have been able to observe, is that when you are able to come down hard on people, then Liberians are going to be cautioned, and they will live in the confines of the Lord. But when you start this issue and you want to relax, or you want to pardon others due to political reasons, then you are not going to achieve. People will not take you seriously. So you have to be more robust. And I know that individuals who have been named, and what President George Weah have said, in accordance with the Dopoe agenda that is modeled on transparency, accountability, and integrity, I know very well that there will be no compromise as you have started. And thanks to the first entity that have been fined, now that you know that you've breached the laws, and to breach the laws, you have to bear the full weight of the law. The Lord is the Lord, and there is nothing beyond the law. So if you are breaching the law in the name of having a friend in government, I'm sure that the Commerce Ministry is that ministry that is not considering friendship in the discharge of its duties and responsibility to the Liberian community. So you have to watch up as they are going on. We will try, as we go on the program, we will try to pick up the calls of Yanti Tokbar, because he's around the waterside area. I know this is going to be a routine exercise by the Ministry of Commerce. There are other areas, there are other entities here, there are other entities in this country that you will have to reach to as it relates to ensuring that people will take in the goods or commodities that are proper instead of taking in things that have expired. That is a risky form of business, even though you need the profit. But why would you want to make the profit at the detriment of the Liberian community? If people are going to get sick in this country and there is an outbreak and government is going to declare a state of emergency, you wouldn't have that time to commercialize your goods. You would not have that time to make the profit that you want to make. So since we have people who are already healthy, then it's good enough that their lives are considered while you are selling or transacting your business. We'll have some bit of interaction with you on the program running up to 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, we will play host to Sino County Representative Matthew Zarzar, who is going to be here. I told you that Senator Milton Tiaji reacted today in this long rivalry between his kingsman, Representative Matthew Zarzar, and he has come a long way. But we will try to hear from Representative Matthew Zarzar on this platform this afternoon. There is no way that you can bring the two individuals here now, but they should claim the attention of the legislature. The individuals involved, one would say, they are in your employ. They are working for your entity, the legislature. And Liberia is above self-interest. What is the issue that people will not be able to resolve, and continuously they will be latching in the public space at each other? You are leaders of our country. The younger generation are depending on you to move forward with the leadership of this country. And if it will be an attack situation, they will grow with the same mindset. And tomorrow is going to be the same attack situation. We've come a long way understanding our dark days, and I'm sure we don't want to revert to the dark days. That's why we continue to talk about peace and genuine reconciliation. When we are united as Liberians, divided we will fall. So let's announce the number: 0-777-700-995, 0-777-700-995. Hills Liberia says, great job. Yes, okay, friend. Stephen George, he says, good. I'm trying to acknowledge some of your comments. Philip Kati is watching from London. Sayed Francis D, he says, we're hoping that their work in inspecting these goods on the market will continue, and not just for a day or two, and then seeing wildfire blazing and dying away. But kudos to them thus fired for the work well done. God bless Mama Liberia. And Ralph Draper is watching from St. Paul, he says. Okay, yeah, so let's start to pick up some of your calls on the line here. Let's go to this line. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to our many listeners. My name is Abel Jabo, and I join you from Logan Town.
Okay, please go ahead, Abel.
Wholquoi, I think the action by the Common Ministry is welcoming. This is why we always say, and we urge our president to always appoint people that have this country at heart, so that they can work in the interest of people. Over the past year, we have never been heard the Common Ministry doing such a thing, and people, even children now that are coming on, never knew the function of the Common Ministry. But now, the minister is not coming on, and now we know that at least we have a ministry that is called Common Ministry. And we also want to see the same thing happening. We want to see the same thing from the labor ministry, also, because these are effective ministries that are supposed to be working by now. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your input to the program. So 0777 709 and 5. And like you said, yes, I think this exercise, the labor ministry will have to get involved, because now that the commerce ministry is ensuring that they can calm the proliferation of expired products on the Liberian market, the labor sector is also being challenged. People are working, they're not being able to reap what they are working for. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, William.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you walk a bit from where you are? I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah. Is that okay now?
Okay. Let's hear your name and where you are joining the program from this afternoon.
I'm Emmanuel B. Colley. I come from Central Town.
Okay. Eben, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Well, I think we must commend the Minister and the Ministry of Commerce. I think their first step is in the right direction. And we are asking Liberians and those that care to do business. But the minister said Liberia is open to business, but Liberia is not open to where people can just come and just have prices at any time at their will. Whether this could be maybe one of the only countries in Africa that today you can get in a car, they can charge you for $10, and tomorrow you get the other can charge you $25. You speak to them tomorrow, you speak to them on a price tomorrow, you get out the price different.
And sometimes the driver will say this is Liberia.
Oh yeah, yesterday, another driver said to me, they said I normally pay $30 for, he said his price was 40. I said, but you should have told me. He said, my man, now how the country looking. So, I mean, we should stop there. We should stop doing it to our country, because anything I say the country, it automatically accept us. You understand? And I think the Ministry of Labor themselves need to see how best they can get around. And they are like who work with the people. They need to try to put forces together to see how best they can consult and work in line with the people. If they have information, then we think those people can be able to give them the information so that it can go beyond. And the Ministry of Commerce, we are hoping that they can go beyond this point. They can continue to swerve out so that at least our prices can be regulated. Thank you so much. And the issue of expired goods, we are also hoping that they can try to work towards the direction. Thank you very much, William.
Okay. Thank you for your input. Yeah, so launching an attack with the labor ministry will be a very welcoming situation for Liberians.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yeah. How you doing?
Welcome to Afternoon Conversation. I'm fine from this end. How are you too?
Yeah. I'm Eddie Jackson, and I talk to you from district number 9 to be precise in Lakwasi.
Okay, Eddie, let's hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Liberian people, they used to, the corruption, and other things. So why would somebody, you go in and you buy goods, and the goods expire, and then you got, because then you feel that you want to make more profit, so then you will infect people, with the consumer, you will infect us. We told the ministers, what to do. That's why, a proper government. So, this is why the president continues to warn them that when you go against the proper agenda, he will automatically, not hesitate to dismiss you. So, we will say thank you to the government minister. This is why I want to see, and we will hear him. And for me, I'm a junior of this number 9 for the coalition of Democratic Change. So I can be so proud that I can hear, Minister Dopoe taking, this step, and as you had it, commend him. And thank you for that.
So it means that we are getting there, right?
Yeah. Good.
Okay, thank you very much for your input to the program. 0777 700 995. Let's go back to the line. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Yeahgar.
Yes, good afternoon. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Let me commend you this afternoon for the topic of the discussion. My name is Wholquoi Yeahgar, and I call this afternoon from
District 13? Okay. How is District 13?
13 here.
Okay.
Let me commend you for always flagging all these critical issues that have to do with the responsibility of our country and our democracy. As it relates to the topic of discussion, the president has said and he has maintained his word that he's about to run a proper government. And in a proper government, there are a lot of indicators involved. Like what you see the proper ministry doing now, it's a clear testament of the president's proper agenda. The core ministry is going to be brought under the leadership of Professor Wilson Tape and as director of executive director to Driving Francis, the lady called Driving Francis, he for the coalition. I know he is the director for that agency that is supposed to regulate, the business president, the market, and to ensure that the goods are being sold to our people are not rotten goods or are not expired goods. So I can assure you that this president is a serious president. He meant well for our country, and he will ensure that whatsoever that it takes to ensure that his proper agenda is achieved. Listen to the president's cabinet meeting in recent times. He has maintained and he told his cabinet that he will be very vigorous and he will ensure that whosoever he will not relent in sacking or replacing any official who will not work as the way and pleasure of the Liberian people who elected him. This is what the president has said, and based on this time, any indicators that are showing face, I can assure you that this person will achieve its proper agenda. So thank you also much for your beautiful platform. I must commend you always. You are one of the promising and the best journalists in the country in terms of the independent reporter. Thank you also much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sekou Sharif, calling from District 18, Montserrat County. But yes, the approach, I think this is a warning, and for other business entities, you wouldn't make the profit that you so desired if the Commerce Ministry is going to get on you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine. You?
Okay. I'm great from this end.
My name is Romeo Dari Aaron Later, calling from Christopherville, Benton City.
Okay. Romeo, let's hear you.
Brother, thank you for the topic this afternoon. First of all, I should look up to Commerce Ministry and to look up to the minister who will continue to tell him thanks for what he continues to do, what he has started. But we should be careful in doing what we are doing now. Sometimes some of them will try to get on the street to get on observation on various goods and entity in. Sometimes they will be coerced to get bravery. So we want for all those that are taking the initiative to do such a thing should be mindful, shouldn't mind what they will get or what they will be offered. They should do it for the Liberian people, not for ourselves. And should also try to report all those that will come in to bribe them. I think we will be getting on the right path.
But do you think do you think the approach by the Commerce Ministry, anyone can think that it will beat the system? Do you think so?
Yeah.
With the approach now?
In Liberia, that's the mentality we have. Sometimes we say Liberia, anybody can do anything. So somebody will try to influence us to do what is not right for our country. Instead of we getting what we have to do, we will start to compromise with certain people. I think in that case, we should be strong and we should be vigorous enough to tell the people we are not here for such a thing. We are here to build our country. This is the time for every one of us collectively for us to build our country. I want for Commerce Ministry to go as far to transportation. Today we can be explored at any time, any hour. By the time Java noticed that someone in town, when it passed 8 o'clock, they try to make the fare very exorbitant to the extent that sometimes we end up being constrained. We cannot find our way.
Okay.
So if you please try to look into that. Thank you again for the topic this afternoon.
Thank you very much. John Suarez says, good afternoon, OK family. Nicole Smith says, OK FN #1 afternoon program. I'm watching you live from Wentown, Pebland Community. Moses Sai says, watching from Tottenburg, Bombay County. Jesus Pekin Koliboyan says, thanks to the minister for his approach. Emmanuel G. Goet says, I am watching from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, the United States of America. We will continue to acknowledge your presence. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, my good friend, brother.
Good afternoon. How are you this pleasant afternoon?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine. You?
Well, I'm doing well from this end. Let's hear your name.
Okay, I'm Smeddy, calling from District 13, Major Sambo Communities.
Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, thank you, my brother, for the topic on the discussion. You know, I would like to send my appreciation to the Commonwealth Ministry and the Minister of Commonwealth, Professor Winston Tapper. Thank you for the bold step that they are taking. And I would like to say this to other ministers that have been confirmed. They must not sit down and look. I think they're hearing what they are trying doing. They said to the monarch go sit down and be city and city beat it. It will be able to do what they put in there to do, what the government means. Then the second year, I will not let me for the government ministry just to start at the corner. But as far as go, my brother, can you imagine if you enter into the most of the doors too, where they send our health comfort. Majority of the doors to anybody put together, they have as fire product. Can you imagine all brought here and when I bought a telemazine in one of the doors, so the thing will aspire, my brother, when you use it, everything our inside water. The man I understand from the business, what if the common minister is what they intended to go to the doors to the any majority of our doors in the country, they are at fire. So the common minister, when I understand, for good on the boy, even them go far out to the doors to them. We have most of the aspire doors in the country, my brother. They are affecting our health system. Our health system already full. Therefore, the people say they aspire drugs. Other people say are inside in the pocket, and when you see most of their drugs, they aspire. So what the common minister doing, I appreciate it. And the labor minister to have to wake up to and do something. What we are waiting upon it. The labor minister Moses from our own country, local country, you have to do something too, as the way it's not taking our post. The labor minister to have to see from them. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your input. It's here on 99.5. Your calls are welcome. Afternoon conversation. And yes, so Liberians are kind of concerned about, yes, and they are already aware that there exists, expired products or commodities on the Liberian market. You're hearing how they are talking, even running to medication that people are going to purchase. You can imagine the situation in Liberia. Good afternoon.
Hello, okay, how are you?
Well, OKFN is great and I'm okay also. Let's hear you, please.
This is Vani Bolo calling from D17.
Okay, how is District 17, Vani?
Oh, the place is all right for now.
And there's a hot sunny day, right?
Sure.
Okay. Vani, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
You see, when it comes to this expiring things, the problem we're facing here is sometimes when they say the beef expire, then they will take the beef to the weighing chunky. As they chunk it to the dumper, you see people go to the dumper, they be picking it, bringing it back, you can't sell it. We stack up.
Wow.
So this time when they say it expire, let them carry and burn it. They should not go put it to the dumper. One time happened when Benani Urine brought rice for his chicken, they said it will expire. When they carry the rest on the highway or carry the area, the old man then went and start taking the rest. So I told them, I said, they think it's for it. I said, no, Germany, Africa.
Wow.
So you know how many persons was affected with that? So this time when they say expire, they should find somewhere where they go Dopoe so that people will now have access to it. And the second thing to it, anytime right now the way they put the business pool, you know they are smart. They're hearing all talking this thing. So what they are going to do now is when they say they beef expire, they will take it and give it to the store boys. Then the store boys will bring it in the community. You know the old man when they buy it, you know they can.
Okay, to usher it, right?
Yes, but some of them, they don't know the expiry date.
Okay.
They will not look at it. You and myself will say, let's check the expiry date. But for them, they will not look at it. They will just come for the beef. So they'll be, oh, they beat the price over $40. Then they will buy it. You see it? So, you know, let's just say the things you start for people. When you bring it, the time they go open the container, let them check from the carton.
But sometimes they are able to pass through the freight port when the goods are not expired. They will pass it through and bringing it. You don't have people going to buy the goods. So at the final analysis, once the term is already expired, then they want to push it.
Let me tell you how it's supposed to be done.
Okay.
When they bring the container inside, when they discharging the container, any container that gets food stuff and medicine, there should be commerce person or assigned to that container.
All right.
So you open one of the containers, you open one of the cartons, then you check the content, the beef or whatsoever, the kidney beans or whatsoever food stuff or medicine. Check them for the expiry date. But when you allow the goods to go in the warehouse, the person can easily go and manipulate, you know, and change the expiry date. What I have to do with the farm? When the farm, because right now people are playing politics with the farm. One radio station said yesterday that government ministry has the right to farm, that the court has the right to farm. But you know when they carry it into the court will go say, in fact, the men not get it, go. So they're supposed to help on that farm. Who's supposed to levy the farm? Is that the minister supposed to, government supposed to levy the farm or labor or the court? Let them work towards it so that we can have a better country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your input. Yes, so we will take two more colors. We'll take additional 2 colors on the line and get transition right here. Yeah, okay, so we'll take 2 more calls. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeahgar, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. This is Nash Addison calling for district number 8.
All right. Nash, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think there's a good step the government ministry is taking. You know, it's just the beginning, but I urge them to go far beyond this. Because at times we see it starting from the beginning, everything will start going well, but when you guys start calling them in the corner, then we start hearing another story. But it's commendable, we commend them for now, and I think there's a good step. You see, sometimes people can say foreigners, you guys are the problem. For me, I don't see them as the problem. I see we ourselves, we celebrate, we are the problem for ourselves. If people go out and watch them will be this, there's anybody that they will know that the goods and things that these guys are selling expire, but they will never come to the public and never go pick somebody. Someone is selling to the old man, yeah, the old man, someone didn't know for me, they just read, so they will just buy it and say, oh, you know, the poor, how they call it, banjo here, and they themselves sell it to the get something for him. So I think it's a good start, and we be beaten and be educated for ourselves.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we'll have to take, yes, the last caller on the line, get transition. Like I said, our guest is already here, but let's talk to this caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wholquoi Yeahgar.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay. Let's hear you.
I'm calling you for looking at the afternoon. My name is Mohammed Konen.
Mohammed, please go ahead.
Let me commend the government minister first, in presence of Professor Wesim Tafe. I think he's doing well. According to how he kickstart the ball rolling. But depends if he will continue because this is Dopoe and Wholquoi.
Yeah, the Dopoe agenda.
The Dopoe should be able to impact the life of the router and the commoners. Dopoe is not only for those who ride Mercedes, it's not only for those who ride PP, the zero cars. At least the Dopoe should be able to impact the life of even the little boy that is in West Point, that is in Looking Town, and that is in Clavertown there. At least let's see the impact of this government. Don't get lost in the country. We need somebody to be robust on those military people. There are people that believe in challenging authority. They are challenging authority for the past 12 years. So it's part of them. It's in their DNA. So we need a robust policy that will make them to come back to the system so that let's see our nation can improve. Let me commend the comment minister for that. I thank you for that. Let him continue, and there's no bribery you making to slow down. I'm begging him. Let him respect that his name. That's why he was the campaign chairman for the coalition. He should respect that his name. Let him maintain that integrity, and then by the grace of God, the proposed system will improve the life of all the Liberian people worldwide.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for being the last caller on the line. Okay, yes, so this year we will take a break. Yes, taking a break from this end. Let's take this piece. When we are back, Representative Matthew Zarzar, Sino County District 2 is already here. My name is Wholquoi Yeahgar. When we are back, we'll get running into the program to talk to Representative Matthew Zarzar. Thanks to those of you who are following us on this presentation, Masako Sharif, all of you joining us now on the live feed of this presentation. Let's take this break. This song is titled "War Is Not the Answer." Yes, and probably we kind of experiencing a bit of hitches along the way. But yes, we'll come back to that song. I thought to take this song. But I've been joined by Representative Matthew Zarzar. So let's get running to the program. Representative Zarzar is here. Well, I'm humbled this afternoon, Representative Zarzar. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for thanking me.
Okay. How is it going there in the 54th legislature? You are a member who would have come from the 53rd legislature and come into the 54th. How did it go for you?
Well, things are going smoothly. I know the 54th will be very robust. We have a lot of talented and intelligent people, and who are very determined to see that this country succeeds. And I know we have good people, and we will succeed.
Okay. As a legislative reporter, I know very well that when you talk about Representative Matthew Zarzar, every other legislative reporter will say it. Representative Zarzar is the first lawmaker who will be in the chambers of the House of Representatives. Why are you engaged into such?
Well, character begins at home and ends abroad. I want you, the young fellows, the young people, to emulate me. And when you talk about one that is trusted, you are trusted because of your tested character. When you are tested, it is where your trust is based. So I try for young people to learn from me. When I was young, this is how I came up. People ask me, Zarzar, why is it that you've been in government for over 40 years? Let me be bold. I entered government on the 17th of November 1974.
Okay.
Apart from the intervening years I've been in government, of course, I spent some time abroad. But the fact here is, we have to be disciplined. I know fully well that our law says that we must be at work at 10 o'clock. People say, well, if you get in the chambers by 10, nobody will be there. So I said, well, if I'm there, then somebody is there.
Okay.
So that's the kind of person I am. I like to be exact. That's what civilization is about.
Are you bothered sometimes, probably seeing some of your colleagues dragging them to a comfort session?
I'm not bothered. I'm Matthew Zarzar. They are there, and that's it. And we move on.
Oh.
Nothing bothers me. Nothing like that bothers me.
All right. So let's get running. And you come from District 2, Sino County. How is Sino?
Sino is progressing, except that I'm from District 3.
Oh, District 3, in fact, yes.
My
District
colleague,
3, yes.
Honorable
Nagbe solidified, yes, okay, yes, okay.
Yes, thank you.
So District 3 is progressive.
Progressing, yes.
Wow, okay. What are those things when you talk about the district is progressive? What are you talking about?
Actually, District 3 is one of the most difficult districts in Sino to enter. When the rain season starts, it's difficult to go through most of the towns. And there is a company called Mantra. Of course, there are some issues one way or the other, but Mantra started building some rules to how to reach places. That is a progress for us. And we are engaging other business partners to see that they build schools, they build clinics, and some other things. Now that the fact that I have not announced some of these to the citizens, I try to hold on to them. But recently, the World Bank, through the Ministry of Public Works and Agriculture Ministry, started building some farm to market roads, some feeder roads. One of the roads was constructed is under construction in Yeahgar. Another one is in Detroit. I mean, those are places that are hard to reach now that these roads are built. You know, when roads are built in places, all other things fall in place. There is a positive externality when roads are built. So that's why somebody said that if you want development, build roads. Because when roads are built, or all other things fall in place. If you do not have road, you will not have, it will be difficult to have a clinic. How do you carry cement? You will not have school. I mean, so when roads are built, all other things fall in place. This is why I'm pleased now that the gentleman who is at the Ministry of Public Works is somebody who knows the problem, who grew up with the problem. He's not somebody to learn. So I'm happy that he is the minister, and I know he will do very well.
Okay. Representative Matthew Zarzar, let me take you back a bit to the 53rd legislature. You served that legislature, the 53rd in fact. What do you recollect from the 53rd, probably from the capital running to your county in terms of your achievements?
Well, basically, the major program of the past government, and I trust that this current government will maintain that program, is the money that is allocated directly to the county, out of county development fund or social development fund. This is a major achievement of the past government, and I know this current government will improve on that, because, my dear brother, it's difficult to say that as a representative you will be able to build roads, you will build houses, you will do this. It's not possible, but through your advocacy.
But sometimes the promises have been made during the election.
I personally don't make promises for things that I know I wouldn't deliver. I don't do that. Whenever you make that appeal to me, I will say, well, let me see whether I will discuss that with my friends. I don't like to make promises on things that I'm not able to deliver. Our engineering department, our engineering ministry indicated that to build a decent road is $1.3 million to build a mile of a decent road. If I stay 6 years, I will not make $1.3 million. So why should I fool myself?
The public have this understanding that you make a lot of money when you are a legislature.
Well, I mean, that is the perception, but perception is quite different from reality.
Okay. So on the overall, that is far from what is taking place.
It's far from reality.
Okay. Now you are in the 54th. Are there plans maybe to tap on for the development of Sino County, your district?
Of course.
What are they?
Of course. As I speak, I have just come from a meeting with some other investors to build more roads in my district, to build clinics, to build schools. The thing about it is, besides roads, when people are educated, they become independent. So I have been spending so much money on scholarships, so that when people are educated, they will make decisions for themselves. Things will fall in place. There will be a multiplier effect. So I'm thinking that when you impact knowledge into our society, you will make a better preparation for tomorrow. So I am focusing mostly on schools and roads.
There are some of your colleagues who have been pushing for community colleges to be built across the country. Are you also contemplating on having Sino County Community College?
When Senator Jimpa and Senator Nagbe were in the Senate, they fought hard and passed an act to create a community college in Sino County. luckily for me, when I became chairman on education in the House, I was able to accelerate that process, and then with the help of my colleagues, that dream came to reality. As we speak, there is a functional Sino Community College. All we have to do now is to lobby with our colleagues so that more money will be allocated so as to improve the college.
Okay. Now, let's get to the other issue, Representative Zarzar. There is this report from Sino County that is suggesting a situation of this unity in the county. What is your knowledge about this information?
Situation about this unity in the county? You want to be specific?
How are members of the Legislative Caucus?
Well, I know relative to the relationship among and between the members is not that smooth. I have talked, in fact, the last internal memo I wrote to my colleagues yesterday was that let's see how we can mediate, minimize the conflict among ourselves, then we will move as a group. That was my last memorandum to them, to my colleague, especially to Nambes Law, who is my long-time friend. And I know that they will listen to me and then we'll move forward. But for now, it's not as smooth as it should be.
What is leading to not being smooth? You say it is not smooth as it should be. What is the hindrance?
Well, as I started with I said that the major achievement of the past government, and I hope that will be enhanced by the current government, is the allocation of development money directly to the counties. In the previous government, the ministries, the line ministries used to take care of everything that goes on in the country. So for education, money for education will be allocated directly to the education ministry. Public works, that would be for roads, money will be allocated directly to the ministries. But this past government said, no, this delays development. Let us allocate money directly to the counties because it is the county that know exactly what they need. They know their needs. As a result, they started allocating money directly to the county. And that was something that is marvelous that we all love. But later did the government realize that some of the money that is allocated to the counties, some of the superintendents were using this money for personal enrichment. Some of them were using this money for settle political scores. Some of them were using this for their political purposes. And these are some of the unforeseen control. Some of the unforeseen circumstances. Some of the things that the planner didn't foresee. So as a result, in our oversight responsibility, it is then our responsibility to talk about where we see that this money is not properly being used for the purpose for which it was allocated. Some of us started to advocate, and through our advocacy, through our oversight responsibilities, problems were created in the county. So as a result, you will hear the former superintendent, Mr. Tiaget, stole so much from the county, stole so much from for schools, stole so much for roads, stole so much for clinics. When I raised this issue, it was kind of politicized. People say, oh, Matthew Zarzar said this thing against Superintendent Tiaget because Zarzar is from the Sabo ethnic group and Tiaget is also from the ethnic group. This is not so. I'm Matthew Zarzar. I stand for what I believe in. As I repeatedly told the people that public money does not have political party. It doesn't have tribe. It does not belong to any church. It's for the public. And if money is allocated for the public, it must be used for the intended purpose. Even if my mother temples with any money that is allocated to the Sino people, I will speak. And this is my function. This is part of my oversight functions.
You serve as a lawmaker when you had the current senator of your county serving as superintendent, and you had the oversight responsibility to checkmate him. Sometimes we've heard about the appearance of line ministers and directors of agencies across the country. Why didn't you push probably to have his appearance before the legislature?
I did. He appeared before the legislature. That was why he was detained.
Okay.
Yes, he was. When he started stealing the money, when I noticed it, I called him privately, talked to him, but he never stopped. So that's why I complained to the House, and in fact, I vowed never even to approve of money that will be entrusted to him. And he took to the airway in Sano. He went from village to village that Zarzar does not want development in the county. Therefore, he doesn't want to approve or anything. So when I heard that, I went back in Sano, went to the studio and told the people exactly why he was doing. For example, the football stadium, the engineers valued that stadium as to build that stadium as at a cost of 75,000. 50,000 was given to him. The next budget period, he increased the balance to 25,000 that remained to 133,000. When he took that money, again, he prepared another budget for 43,000, another budget for 30,000. The first cement and the blocks that were made for that, he took the blocks to build his hotel. When I saw some of these things, I started explaining them to the people signed up. As soon as I started talking, he burst into the studio and asked me out, jumped on me to ask me out. This is how the whole thing started. So basically what I'm saying here is, I brought him, as you said, I brought him before the House, and that's how he was incarcerated. But the House does not have that power. It is not the responsibility of the House to investigate. That was how the issue was transferred to the Liberia Anti-Corruption Agency, and the president said he heard that what was happening. She asked the GAC to go and do comprehensive audit. LACC came and said, indeed, yes, TIA has stolen from the county. GAC also came and said, well, we have only audited 2 years. He worked for 5 years, we audited 2 years, but he's comparable to paying 700,000 plus, besides other things, and the records are there.
Now, with all of the trending issues, allegedly on the then superintendent of Sino County, he went to a political race and got elected as senator of your county.
And so what? A rogue cannot be elected senator. You heard the songs here. You came my mind, you came my power, will vote for you. Was it the right decision? Of course, the majority have their will, but sometimes majority goes wrong. Besides, the people of Sino did not know the truth. But now they are getting to know the truth. They didn't know the truth that this man was using his own money to campaign. He was using their own money to. Look, this man makes 3-4 times as much as the superintendent makes. The first 3 years he built 6 houses. Now, as a senator, this is the fourth year, or the fifth year. Third year. He has not built a single house. You see,
what do you think is responsible for that?
Huh?
What is responsible for?
What is responsible for that? People are just corrupt. He was eating their own money. They didn't know. Now they have realized that their own money was the money used to campaign. Are you saying
the superintendent position was kind of lucrative than
more lucrative? If you are honest, it's not as lucrative as you may think. But if you are dishonest, if you are corrupt, it's more lucrative than being a representative or senator.
Now, with what have taken place, the trial have come on. The 14th Judicial Circuit Court have fined him, in fact, 50,000 to be paid in government's revenue in the period of 9 months. You follow the fine?
Yeah, I did follow that.
What is your interpretation, or how do you see the fine being imposed on the senator?
Actually, finding the senator is an indication that he's found guilty of the crime for which he was accused. So now he's a convict, he's a criminal.
That should be the interpretation of the law?
When you talk about interpreting the law, of course, I'm a lawmaker, I'm not a law interpreter, I'm not a lawyer. Okay. So when you talk about interpreting law, that's a judicial function. I don't want to play one when I'm not.
Okay. So it means to find him suggests, in fact, that
it's a conflict.
Okay. So now, where are you with this matter? The fine is to be paid in government's revenue. Should this be the climax of this matter?
Well, the issue, as I said, that's LACC investigation. The issue of the GAC has not come on board. And when GAC, the other periods that if he's audited completely, we are talking about the man, he will be found capable of over $1 million. So the LEC issue, that's why we are talking about now, but there is also a GAC report that is hanging behind him.
What does the law say, or what exactly is in your rules for a lawmaker in terms of the kind of proceeding that is taking place when the GAC report is coming up? Now that the LEC report has come up, there is a fine, and you are hopeful of a GAC report that will come up that will also fine him in the process?
Well, it's in the Senate. The Senate rules are quite different from the House.
From the House,
actually, you have to...
Have you been able to understand the rule? You've been able to have a copy to read through?
You mean my rule or the House of the Senate rule?
The Senate rule, since you have him, and you've been speaking on this issue, and you want to know the rules, so that when the time comes, you are able to proceed in the right form.
The point here, my dear brother, is a crime is a crime, irrespective of the rules.
But he is a lawmaker.
And so what? If you are a lawmaker, you are not above the law.
So that's what we are looking at, the rules.
Okay, the basic, whether the rules are there, the rules do not supersede the Constitution. We have to look at the constitutionality. If the man is found guilty as a lawmaker, of course, it's an impeachable offense. It's the right of the citizen now, or the House, to get him out.
As a leader of Sando County, will you want to push for?
Of course, if I do the same thing, I'm prepared to go today. I told them, if the day I'm caught in such act, I'm prepared to resign. It's an impeachable act. He must go. He doesn't represent our interest. He is not our face. He cannot be our face. He's a rogue. He's a thief. Why do we have him as a leader? He is not.
He is a fellow lawmaker.
I don't care.
Like you are.
My friend, let me tell you, this country must go forward. We do have to shield criminals. If I commit a crime, I'm prepared to take the penalty. Look, in democracy, the essence of democracy, the major tenet of democracy is the respect for the rule of law. Whatever our law says, we have to follow it. If we do not do that, every time we'll be criticized. If John Brown is corrupt, whether it's your brother or not, let the law take its course. This is my position. If I'm caught today doing what is unethical, of course, there are times people want to lie. That's why we've been very calm to see the court ruling so that we go through a legal process. Now the legal process, the first part has come to an end, and then he found culpable. Therefore, he must go.
Is there any sinister motive that you are pushing to ensure that...
Doesn't it make sense that when somebody is found corruptible or is found guilty of an act, that you ask him to go? Is there any sinister motive when I say this?
Do you have any other thing against him?
Nothing. What do I need from him? Nothing. I don't need anything. I am trying to save the face of this country. We cannot take corrupt officials to always say, well, he's senator, and so what? So what? If you are a senator, you are guilty, you are guilty. What happened the last time in South Africa? Why Jacob Zuma has to go? Why he had to go recently? There are so many other people that resigned. Even if it is like in America, if you are accused of such a crime, you will not have to wait till you go to court. You will immediately resign. This is what builds a decent society. My friend, the major tenet of democracy is a respect for the rule of law. We must maintain our law so that our society, the fabrics of our society will be together. If we say we will shield this man because he's a senator, we shield this man because he's a representative, God bless all of us, our country will never progress.
Some have argued that Senator TJ supported a candidate against you in the October elections, and so you want to fight back, and that is what you're trying to push for all of the measures.
When was he jailed? When did the House jail? In what time? In what year? 2013. Was that time anybody against me? There was no election in 2013. It was in 2013 that I reported that he struck. And I still stand on what I've said. No. So if that whether you support a candidate against me, that's democracy. Why will you be afraid of somebody going against you? But what I'm saying, if it doesn't make sense to you? Somebody's straw is found guilty by the court of competent jurisdiction or whatever it is, court of law. And
what did the trial in fight take place in Sino? It was in Riverses.
I try not to play as a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I know the trial was held in Riverses. I was asked to testify, and I explained what I know in the court. So why the case was removed from Sino, why the case was not, it was conducted in Riverses. That's not the issue. The issue is Yeahgar stole Sino County money. Yeahgar is found guilty of stealing Sino County money. Yeahgar must go.
Considering the territorial jurisdiction as it relates to crime, one will safely say that since the crime indeed was committed in Sino County, then it needed to be tried in Sino. Don't you think so?
My friend, a court is a court. Wherever it is, whether it's in Sino County, suppose he had taken an appeal. If he had taken an appeal, where would the case be here? Would it be here in Monrovia? Do we have Supreme Court in Sino County? The case will come to Monrovia, and the crime was committed in Sino. So it doesn't matter where the case was tried.
Was that an appeal? Was there an appeal to
I heard from me yesterday that he's going to pay the fine. He is not going to appeal. That's what I heard from him.
Okay. Now, so Representative Zarzar, some of your critics believe that if you didn't get re-elected, you wouldn't have the opportunity to fight back.
My dear friend, let me tell you, I do not need to be representative to talk for the people of Sino. I started in government on the 17th of November 1974. I have been in government for so many years. I don't need to be representative. I must speak for our people. This is why I returned from America. I was working in America. I was teaching at the university. You see? But the fact is, we must build a decent society. We must have decent people. This is the kind of thing our children will emulate. We cannot have criminals around here and posting as minister or posting as superintendent, posting as representative. No. If I'm caught in such act, I'm prepared to go so long it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt. I'm prepared to go. Even if I'm accused of such things, I should be ashamed of myself. This is it. What do I want from the man? What do I want? Even if he's gone, do I want to be represented? Do I want to be senator? Of course. And anybody wants to be anything.
Are you opting to be a senator?
No.
Will you want to contest in the next election?
My friend, let me do what I'm elected for. You cannot.
Well, if you are being petitioned by your people,
if I'm petitioned by the people,
would you want to face him in the election?
That I don't want to work on speculation. I'm 65 years old. I'm not worrying about jobs. In fact, I repeatedly told people that I'm the only one in the House, including the Senate, that I've had 8 presidential appointments from 12 days to this time. So I'm not worrying about jobs. I just want to see that my country, we do the right thing, and so that we'll be respected in the society, in our society. Every day, people say corruption. We corrupt. Government officials corrupt. I know that we have decent people in this country, and those decent people must lead.
Representative Zarzar, don't you think your approach or the approach that is taking place now will foster this unity amongst your people?
Are you saying we should unite and then see the people money, then we say yes, we are in unity? I would not take that. If that will bring this unity, God bless all of us. But if it is wrong, let's just say it's wrong. This is the only way we are going to have a decent society. Talk about unity, yes. How will you say you talk about unity? The man took the money for schools. He took the money for the clinic. He took the money for everything. Then you are saying that, but for the sake of unity, let things go. Now in my shoes, and not yesterday, not today, now that will not be tomorrow.
Now, I'm kind of thinking in awe about the relationship with lawmakers of Sino County. How are you proceeding amidst the current situation?
My dear friend, we'll do what is right. We will do what is right. Who doesn't like what we are doing? Well, God bless them. But I am saying, so long one violates the law, you must bear the consequence. That's it. If people don't like me for that, God bless them. That's what I'm saying.
Do you have the support of your fellow lawmakers from Sino?
I don't need anybody's support. Of course, Senator Nagbe has been very supportive, but the fact is, the other senators, the other representatives, whether they support me or not, I was elected in my own right. They were elected in their own rights, so they have their own case to deal with now. I'm not here to verify any other lawmaker. I'm talking about Matthew Zarzar, my future, my present, and my past. That's what I'm talking about. So I don't intend discussing other lawmakers.
So as it stands, it means there is a divided Sino caucus.
If that which it is, then yes.
Don't you think that is happening?
I am saying let's do the right thing.
To do the right thing, there is a divided caucus.
My friend, let's do the right thing. If the caucus is divided just for us to have a smooth society, to have a decent society, that the children will emulate tomorrow, that we have progressive developments, let's go for it.
How is the leadership of the Sino County Legislative Caucus structure?
As far as I know, we have not had election. As far as I know.
There is a report that Senator Milton Tiege has been named as the chairperson of the Legislative Caucus.
You are the journalist. You are telling me. As far as I know, the last member I wrote to my colleagues yesterday. I said because of the tension in the Senate, in the House, let us try to mediate among ourselves to minimize the tension. If Senator Tiege was elected, God bless Liberia.
Who elected him?
I don't know. I don't know. I do not know.
What is your role as a lawmaker in that direction?
We all have to come together and have election. I mean, if two persons get together and say, well, they are in majority, they have election, I mean, that is a different scenario. I am basically saying, even if the elections were held yesterday until he was elected, why are we telling the Sino people? Are you saying a rogue must be a chairman or even a co-chairman, a rogue?
Will you not want to
No way. If he's elected, I will not work with him. Then I will be in my... Yesterday, in fact, Senator Nambe and I had a press conference and told the Liberian people that we will not work with Tiege if he's elected as chairman of the caucus. What are we telling the people? People will talk about corruption. Somebody is found guilty. First, they say he was accused, therefore, he has to have his days in court. The court has come out to say, yes, indeed, it's true. Then, what are we telling the people? No other competent and honest person inside to be our leader? Is it a rogue to be our leader? No way. For me, no way.
Are you fighting maybe a two-man battle against the rest of the other caucus members?
My friend, 100 miles journey begins with one step. If it is half man, I'm prepared for it. If it is I alone, I will. If we are two, that's good. The main thing we need to work as men and honest. We have to take an honest approach. This is it. We are not violating the law. Whether that one person or two person, I mean, that's not the issue. The issue is let's look at what is right for Liberia. Period. What is right for Sino County. Period. It doesn't. The number could go wrong. That's why I try not to even talk about my other colleagues. Whatever decision they have, they know why they were elected. They know how they were elected. They know what they want to do. Well, we all have our own agenda. I'm talking about my agenda.
Representative Zarzar, don't you think your stance on this matter could lead the rest of the other lawmakers of Sino to solicit the required signatures to push for an impeachment?
I'm prepared to go tomorrow if that which I'm sending for the people of Sino, I'm prepared. If I see any petition coming on the floor to say because Zarzar say take it stole our money, Zarzar say somebody who is a rogue should not be our leader, and then they say, well, God bless them. They go ahead. I'm prepared to go to tonight.
Amidst the situation now and the ongoing matter in Sino, are you probably leaving some room to dialogue one day?
I'm not stopping to dialogue. Do you know that last year, 2 years ago, I knew that confusion was coming. I called the eminent citizens of Sino. I went to Dr. Amos Sawyer. I went to Dr. Mills Jones. I talked to Dr. Clark. I talked to Dr. Kuhn. I said, look, there is a confusion in Sino. Let's see how we can put things together. These eminent citizens agreed and called all of us together. In one of those discussions, Senator Tiege was bold to say that that's how that meeting was called Sino Peace Initiative. Senator Tiege was bold to tell the peacemakers that until his house that the Supreme Court took from him, until his house returned to him, there will never be any peace. The peacemaker said, well, Supreme Court is the highest decision maker in Liberia. How will we go to rescind the decision of the Supreme Court? And from that day, he never attended any meeting again. We made effort at all costs to have peace. But if he doesn't want peace, God bless him. This is it.
Representative Matthew Zarzar, I'm told that Senator Milton Tiege has the word of the people. He's popular and he's well known and able to identify with his people.
My friend. My friend, whether he's popular with the people, didn't he steal? Did the court not find him guilty? If he's popular with the people, let him be popular. Let his popularity prove. Let his popularity. The thing is, if they say he's popular, I'm not talking about makeup popularity. They used to use their own money. Even in his own village, I can give you documents down in his own village. He said there is a city hall. That city hall we give over 100,000. Go in the house. If you go in that town, if you find any city hall, he keeps stealing from the people. And once they get to know the reality, they were going to. Why? There's going election. That's why I don't want to go into it. In his own town. In his own town, when I got in his town, I can show you picture. I won in his town decisively. In his own town. Where was his popularity? Why was his popularity? We have 56 towns, I think 90 some plus towns. I won in fact, there were 7 persons in the race. I won with 5,000 plus. There's a guy that came second, won with 1,000 plus. The guy that came third, won with 900. I'm saying I won with 5,000. No, if you even combine what all all of that, even half of what I got. So who is popular? Is he more popular than I am? The people are getting to know who JJ is. So you talk about popularity, that doesn't hold water with me. It doesn't hold water with the Sino people.
Why are you guys not able probably to go back home, like you said, holding some conversation with Dr. Amos Sawyer to find a way forward? Why are you not able to go back home now amidst what is unfolding, to be able to put aside the differences?
My friend, no, we talk about differences. Are these personal differences? They are not personal differences. We are talking about the state matter. We are talking about county matter. Did he steal from me? If you are stealing from me to say, well,
but you are a citizen. You are a citizen.
I am a citizen. But once you are, we are there to protect the interests of our people.
Are you exempted? Are you exempted?
I'm there. What I'm saying. What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to tell me? Huh? Are you saying because I'm a citizen, therefore I should go home? If somebody stroll, I should let him go because I'm a citizen? If that is the case, then make me a foreigner.
Well, so it's here on 99.5. Representative Matthew Zarzar, District 3, Sino County, is my guest on the afternoon conversation, and together we are trying to unearth some of those things from Sino County. But before we start to take up the calls here, Representative Zarzar, let's hear from you. As a lawmaker, how do you see the situation moving on? You have a fellow lawmaker from the Senate, probably considering or using this example as a case study. The legislature is to be represented at an international occasion, and you are being selected from the House's side, while Senator Milton Tiege is also selected from the Senate side, and you are to form a delegation to go for said international conference. How are you going to the conference?
In such an arrangement, if it is a conference that calls for vote, you always dialogue with the leadership of the country. The leadership tells you how you vote if it is a voting issue.
Okay.
So the dictation, whatever role I play, does not come from me. Okay. It comes from the leadership.
Okay.
So whatever the leadership decides, it is what the two of us are going on. So it will travel like that. It got nothing to do with what is happening inside.
But your relationship.
No, but do we have to sleep in the same room? When we travel, we sleep in different rooms. We go there and just deliberate on what we have been told to do. That's it. I said I speak to him. He sees me. He speaks to me, and that's it. But so when we go to international forum, why I got to do? No, I'm a mature man. We can sit together and talk, But if it is wrong, it's wrong.
Amidst what is happening,
yes,
you're able to greet each other. You still have.
I spent 2 nights in his town when people told me not to enter his town.
Do you call him sometimes?
We meet, we work in the same building,
okay.
So we meet, we talk.
But you are able to visit his office and he's able to come to you?
No, he hasn't gone to my office. I have not.
But you've been okay.
No. I've not gone to his office. We met in gathering and we greet each other, and
don't you think this could impede the function of the legislature?
My friend, what are you saying?
In the spirit of coordination.
My friend, when you talk about coordination, that's not what you call coordination.
Okay.
Somebody stroll, then you say you should coordinate what? Greed, corruption. I'm not going to coordinate corruption. If you are corrupt, you are corrupt. Period.
All right. Well, let's start to take some of your calls here. Our lines are blinking, and I'm trying to read some of the comments there from the live feed of this presentation. A very hot conversation here with Representative Matthew Zarzar. Prophet Jala is trying to make it through this line. Let's see if we can take him from this end. Good afternoon, Prophet Jala.
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Matthew, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, look, I'm Prophet Jala.
Prophet.
For the nation.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And yesterday, even when on programs at the Wholquoi Yeahgar, I made a comment.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, probably for journalistic point of view, my young brother Yeahgar trying to pose question here and there, probably to know the abundance of your heart. But as the case is beyond Shano, I will definitely make it beyond Shano County. This man is accused and convicted of stealing our taxes that have been gathered for the development of our nation. So this is not somebody that we should begin to honor. The word honorable, it means heaviness. Some people now wanted to carry this name. I don't until this man pay back, restitute. And we're not all here honorable. Our Prophet Jara is speaking like this afternoon. We are sitting on time bomb. If we do not discipline or rob people in our society, it's time bomb for the nation.
All right.
And in fact, we will not have investors coming to our nation if we cannot discipline people.
Okay.
So this is a national issue, is not no longer final issue. This man stole from Liberia. He must be brought to justice.
Thank you.
He must pay back because he has already been found guilty.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know. Your question this afternoon, it didn't go down well with me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
The next thing, he must pay back. This is the time of restitution.
All right. Thank you, Prophet Jala on the line. Let's go back to this line and talk to this caller. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wholquoi Yeahgar.
Yes, good afternoon. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Wholquoi, thank you for affording me a platform this afternoon to speak to our posted one of our founders, representative, the person of Mr. Matthew Zarzar.
Okay. Please go to the point. Let's hear your name. Okay. Sekou. Okay.
And I called this afternoon from a resident in district number 13.
Okay, Sekou to the point. Let's hear you.
I know somebody want to ask what state do I have in Sano County? Considering my needs, but the matter of fact with her is that Labrador is our country. Once Sano become better, and Labrador become better, then our country will be moving forward. So it doesn't matter where I come from, but the issue that I just been explained by Matthew Zarzar, that's a very serious issue. I think middle tier, all the people are trying to get good apology and give his colleagues. I think the court has always ruled. The court has ruled that Mr. Chaji is very culpable of those acts that you are accused of. But my own disappointment with the court is that the court did not, rule in totality, but instead the court ruled, in part. Meaning that court
Okay.
When you commit this kind of acts, you have to go to. You have to be in prison for at least 5 years, and be fined. But instead, the court only rule that they may pay the fine will have to be in prison. The punishment after it is not for the court. But I think because the court honorable military needs to account for the people of Sano County morning. Thank you also, Mr. Matthew Zarzar, for your very articulation this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure we have a former student leader of Sino County on the line, Mr. Michael Scott. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Macon. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Well, you wouldn't hear my usual tone, but I'm welcome by the way, lawmakers who are level-headed of the county are proceeding. I think it is disgracefully embarrassing and dishonorable on their part to be creating insults and personal attacks between people and all of those, and not focusing on the reasons why they were elected. Too many times, I think China County is one of the county you hear very often in the news with lawmakers they are each other's throat. If they are fighting in a radio station studio, they are treating insults and some disrespectful comments against one another. China is one of the original counties of Liberia. The one to China right now, the country is in the horrible state. It's falling undeveloped, but the citizens is perished. The lawmakers are not focusing on something to support the government's for agenda. They are looking for ways forward to develop the country. As a matter of fact, there's a street named after the county called Sano Street. Most of China right now is see how Sano Street looks. Why aren't the lawmakers focusing on way forward to develop the country? And they got to practically insult one another. How does that represent themselves as honorable people and people who the younger generation should see and copy after? Why are they doing sort of these things? It is stupid happening. I'm not too sure one of the lawmakers in studio should be going to the studio, to do all of what they're doing instead of sitting right around the table and focus on what they should do. And please, this is not, attack to anybody or to support anybody's point. I think I'd be ashamed as a citizen of the country in a foreign student because where our lawmakers will not work in the interest of the country, and yet the only country where every day they will be doing all sorts of necessary stores to every encouragement of the younger generation. It's a shame.
Okay, Macon, thank you. Former student leader of Sino County, Macon Scout. Yes, we'll take a few of the calls and then we'll get back to you, Representative Zarzar. Let's talk to this caller. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Manu will always be coming to Jam Gayu and a call from the singer.
Okay, let's hear you.
I want to say good afternoon to your studio guest. I want for the people of South County, because I'm from Grand Bassa County. We are the historical people of this country. We have the president Senator Teddy. They will do not set the president. The people from Sunday, they don't set the president. President Teddy is already a politician. In more he is very egotistic. For him to go and bamboozle the people that elected him in the ring and so, it is very, very heartless. It doesn't make no sense at all. It's very ridiculous for a portfolio. So he must resign. They must move that man from a position because criminality is a highly established leadership. And more as a senator of the same party, I think the people of Southern Country, when they serious to fight corruption and to save the integrity of that noble country, they must move Newton Church from that position. It can't happen in Gambasa.
All right. Thank you.
Move that party. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll take two more callers and then we'll get to Representative Zarzar who will respond. Let's talk to this caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
And let me say good afternoon to your studio guys.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Ojuku Obosa Ojuku.
All right.
I do join from district number 4, Maserado County. Let me say a very big thanks to your studio guys for the level of transparency and a level of accountability he has decided to bring to the growth and development of Sano County. I think this is the time that our leaders need to be sincere and very much honest to the Liberian people. What the lawmaker instituted honorable Mavis that have demonstrated for the Sano people, I think he needs to be celebrated. Why it is true some of what we don't hear from Sano County especially. Basically, for a lawmaker to go in the cover of a country to take 60,000 unscrupulously, that is very much tantamount to the growth and development of that country. So, for the past time, Mr. TIJ has been serving as a superintendent, and this demonstrates to the fact that he has been taking the funding of Sano County for his own personal and individual gain. and there must be a further investigation that needs to take place. Maybe perhaps there have been other funding that he has taken. He could demonstrate that he has taken on his own and then eating the country funding. So basically, funding are being used for the students as far as the council and what have you. This man has taken it. I think that is a sure blockage when it comes to educational status quo for our young brothers and sisters who hail from Sano County.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Zarzar, we support you as student additives in the bureau. We will stand by you to see how best this man can be prosecuted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll take the last one more caller in 5, then we'll rejoin Representative Zarzar. Yes, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Let me say good evening to you. My name is Father from Dopoe here, ladies.
Okay.
And I call from Broad Street this evening.
Okay.
Let me say good evening to one of Zarzar.
Good evening, sir.
You know, like I always told the people of Sino, and I said repeatedly that Sino is pregnant with an evil child. And one day, that child will be aborted. The fact of the matter that this honorable senator now, Mayton Tiages, he looted our county during a regime, a 5-year stay in our county. And for us, he put our people at the loggerhead. The support and the coup, he created a situation, the division that spark up and the total, because there is no blood for two men, there is no blood for supplement. And
Thank
all
you.
of us, we are one.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's rejoin Representative Zarzar. You've listened to some of the callers on the line. What do you make of the comments?
Well, basically, I think all other callers, apart from Macron, I think I don't need to make additional comments. They have said all. The only thing I have to say to Macron is, let background be background, let things go. This is what keeps our country where we are today. I can show Macron, if Macron wants to see me tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, I will show him FICU. Yeahgar has embezzled tuition. Macron is telling me we are not focusing on what we were elected for. I know he's a student leader, he's just coming up in life. Marcus, let me tell you, or Macron, let me tell you, we were elected to oversee the functions of the executives in performing our oversight function. This is the role I play. So if you are saying I am not doing what I'm elected for, then I beg to defer. You are saying we are not in the interest of the country. What did I do when I perform my oversight function? And you are telling me I'm not doing things in the interest of the people. Do I just keep my mouth shut when the tuition that is for you was consumed? The standard street you talk about, we allocated in 2011-2012 budget year $244,000 to rehabilitate that standard street. Check your money. Huh? So you are telling me I should keep my mouth shut? I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do? What else you want me to do? What else you want me to do? So, sir, I beg you, if you think we will come in the street, if we don't start vilifying the rogues, we will continue to be in this kind of state of affairs in this country. We must say what is right. I am not accusing the man. The man is a convict. He was accused and he was convicted. So what are you saying? Talk about go in the city and vilify people? Didn't he do it? Am I wrong to say it? If you think I should support rogues, I should support corrupt officials, don't vote for me next time.
Don't you think, Representative Zarzar, that statement is too strong to consider their fellow lawmaker?
My friend, we said they kept referring to the man honorable. Why should you be? Look,
isn't he an honorable person?
No, he's not. Honorable act supposed to the act of an honorable man supposed to be honorable. You can't steal. I can't steal. You call him honorable. Why does the honorability incident? Huh?
Okay.
Huh? Why is the nobility incident?
Okay, let's take the last batch of callers on the line, and then we will make a deal here with Representative Zarzar. Yes, we have a caller on the line already. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Yeahgar.
Good afternoon. Please go to the point. Let's hear your name.
Well, my name is Hilton Jacob. That is still the critical voice of signing out. Join you for looking down this evening.
Okay, let's hear you.
Now, Yeahgar, let me say to you that the people of Sano County, we are grieving. And let me say bravo to Honorable Matthew E. Zarzar and that of Senator Joseph Nambi. We remain unbending, unwavering, relentless, resolute that indeed justice must prevail. So the judge in Riverside, I think he met what we call the political catacomb because we believe that a judgment was partial and the people of Sando County will need full judgment. Senator Tiaje will not go free. And so we are wearing our political garment that indeed justice must prevail in the interest of the people of Sando County. He will not siphon our resources and go free. Let me hold Honorable Zarzar as in therefore for the betterment of our county. We will shackle him with our political government and he remain untouchable until justice prevails. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Hilton. Yes, we can take two other callers on the line. Yes, let's talk to this caller. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is O'Hara Everett here, and I call you for Lockington.
Okay.
I listened to about Zarzar calling his colleague a criminal. You know, you should be telling about Zarzar to the right thing. I'm not question if the court Randall is very on what judges classify the criminal. But Zarzar to understand that all of the allegations that were legal against what judges, criminal conspiracy, economic sabotage, those allegations were dropped based on insufficient evidence, and Senator Tiaje was found based on violation of the fugitive law. But that to understand the difference between acquitted and guilty. But Zarzar was speaking, calling a fellow for a criminal. But Zarzar was able to not thousand in his poverty, a hometown to pay an elementary school, and he paid 4 rooms for ask Senator and flow. But it's not thousand. Then he just calling a fair row, and it's unfortunate. Senator Tiaje is not a row. Don't call her friend as a criminal.
Okay. Thank you. We'll talk to the last caller on the line. 0777 709 and 5. We already have the caller on the line. Good day.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. Let's hear you. How are you?
Yeah, my name is Gamoyu Channing, and I'm speaking from St. God H. Street, but I'm from Grand Bassa County.
Okay, Gamoyu, please go ahead.
Yeah, let me commend the honorable man in studio. Actually, for lawmaker to be in the kind of stuff, but eating people money, people for the country, but eating the money and passing around, talking big things that, yeah, indeed, in a good lawmaker, we all should go against it because it is very, embarrassing for the people to stand in line for you, all right, and then to take the public money and use it for your own personal game, drink uncontrollable beer, and for all kind of women all around the place. I still should condemn it. So we from the other country will stand with Honorable Zarzar to see how best and to be prosecuted.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gamoyu, thank you very much. Yeah, so Representative Zarzar, you listen to the final callers on the line.
Yes. Thank you. This O'Hara Tia man is one of those that Tiaje uses to.
He accused you of.
Listen. This is the guy that goes around that talks, writes all kinds of nonsense that he doesn't know anything about. But be as it is. The fact here is, go to the Ministry of Education to build a standard elementary school. The minimum is around 100,000, depending on where the school is built. If the school is built out of Monrovia or in a remote area, it will run to 150,000 plus. Now, so 60,000 was given to build a school, which is almost half of what the actual school. What is the actual cost of school? Besides, this man doesn't understand what happens in the legislative function. Legislators are not here yet that receive money. Legislators do not receive 1 cent for any project. What you do as a legislator when money is allocated in your district, all you do, you tell them the project you want. You tell the executive. It is the executive that executes projects, not lawmakers. We are not signatory to any government account. Then the project you are talking about, when this 60,000 was allocated, I identified school. And Les went and got their own contractor, and on the basis of that, because he said the money is not, It doesn't reach half of what they needed to build the school because they needed 150,000 to build a standard elementary school. That's how they came with their plan and they built the school you are talking about. No, 1 cent was given to me. Ohio, if you prove today that 1 cent was given to me, I resign tonight. So the whole thing is, when you talk about guilty, that doesn't mean guilty. If you go to court and you are fined, does it mean that you are not guilty? If you don't know what you are saying, just keep your mouth shut and listen to what we are saying. Why will you tell me say somebody is guilty? I mean, it's not guilty, but they ask you to pay fine. What are you talking about? Do you know what you are talking about? You don't know what you are talking about. So read again before you try to buy more people. Representatives do not receive 1 cent. Representatives are not signatory to any account. Representative, the development money is not given to any development. It is not given to any representative. The money is given to the executive. The executive go through lists, especially the legislative projects. It is a list that selects the contractors. It is a list that pays them. The money comes from finance. It goes directly to the contractor on the basis of list advice. I have never been given 1 cent, and as lawmaker, I am smart enough to say that what the functions that are not for me, I'm going to carry them out. I am saying your father here is a rogue, and I say he's a rogue, he's a thief, period.
Thank you very much, Representative Matthew Zarzar, for honoring our invitation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
He is Sino County District 2 Representative Matthew Zarzar joining us on this presentation of Wholquoi Afternoon Conversation here. We will take a break. When we are back, yes, we'll get running into the program. Please stay tuned. Don't go away. Yes, indeed. What isn't the answer? And I want to read out some of your comments. Lauren Solonte says, nice music, right? Once it's nice, it has to be played to us. God is with me and Collie. He said, wow, a nice music, and it's making my day. But it's yet on 99.5. This is OK Afternoon Conversation. Shortly, we will play host to Representative Francis Dopoe of River G County District 3, and we're going to be talking some national issues in the country. My name is Wholquoi Yeahgar, your Friday friend, right here. Let's enjoy this music. I'm taking it from the top so that you can enjoy it on this Friday afternoon.
Question me.
And so as we waiting our guest right here, so try to take some calls from you listening to this music. I want to have your interpretation of this music. So that will open up the lines a bit so that I can hear it from you. What is the interpretation of this song? How do you interpret this song? The title is What is Not the Answer? I'm going to open up the lines, right? And I'm told that our guest is just around here. But let's talk to you a bit on this music. I want to hear from you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. And let me say good afternoon to the people of this treatment. I want to make a quick appeal to you, the host.
Okay.
And to bring place as it relates to the telecommunication line that is being used. I think you please have to provide us options.
Okay, all right, okay.
Then quickly to the music. I think this music is an old music, you can see, that it came at a time when we, as a country, were just gravitating from war. And I hope I'm correct, but I think that those are the times I listened to this song the very first time, 2003, when we just came from the war. We were trying to put our pieces, our hearts together. And it sends a strong message that war is not the answer, and it should never be the answer. The answer should always be dialogue, confrontation, dialogue, resolution. Those are the answers.
Okay, yeah, so no need for trouble. Okay. So yes, we'll talk to you until we can see the face of our next guest on this segment of the program. Let's have some bit of interaction, wanting to understand from you the interpretation of this music. 0777 709 and 5. We have another caller on the line. Let's try to take this caller from face and sorry, this colors of the line, trying to take away some of the tough talking time here, easing it up to ease some of your wounds. Let's talk to this caller. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Yes, please go ahead.
New Georgia.
Okay, let's hear you.
I want to talk to the song.
All right, let's hear you.
The song talking about war. That war is not an answer, but we should not specify it to shooting at one another. And our ways of doing things, and the way we fight one another in our hearts, and those are not an answer to our problem. We need to come together as one people, sit at a table. If your friend does anything to you, it is a right and duty to call one or two persons, sit at a table to resolve it, but not to maybe talk against a friend and all those things. So the war there is not only about gun, even though especially was talking about gun, but not only gun. We should try to resolve our problems as one people. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So okay. Yeah. So this year, let's try to go back to this line. But Cully, yes. What is not the answer? This is the song. Siku Lama is joining us from Sinker. He says, yes. Okay. But 0777 709 and 5 is the number. I'm trying to get you running with the next line shortly. But let's have some interaction until we can see the face of our next guest. I'm told our next guest is just around the corners. The next guest. Okay. Yeah, so this is it. Actually, we'll take a bit of this music. Yes, what is not the answer? Let's take this. When we return to get adjusted, and our guest is going to be talking to us right here. Okay, yes, thanks very much for being right there. And so now we have Representative Francis Dopoe here of River G County District number 3. I'm humbled. This is there are some Liberians who say we have some new lawmakers and we have old lawmakers. I don't know, but Representative Francis Dopoe is a member of the 54th Legislature representing River G County District number 3. And so let's go to him. Representative Dopoe, pleasant good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this platform.
Thank you very much, and thanks to my listener.
Okay. So have you been able to listen in the public and hearing this issue of old lawmaker, new lawmaker? You've heard that?
Oh, sure. Even within the chambers, we have the same way of saying things.
Yes,
old and new.
The old lawmaker, the new lawmaker. But how is River G County?
River G County is good, not at 100%, but it's good.
So it is around 99?
No, it's just not 100%.
So one would say it is roughly around 75.
Because there are a couple of issues going on, and we try to resolve those, especially with the workers, the Chico workers there in River G. But there's currently a meeting going on. We have made some intervention along with the senators and other representatives. So the county authority are there having a meeting with Chico and the workers to resolve the issue. So except for that, for which I'm saying is not 100% good.
Okay. Now let's get rolling. Coming to government, you are now in the 54th legislature. How did it go? I know it's a long story for you coming to represent the people of District 3, River G County. What is your feelings, in fact, being a lawmaker?
Well, I feel that I've been challenged to advocate. I've been challenged to provide leadership. I've been challenged to bring my professional competence to the legislature. That's a challenge.
Okay. So now, I know following the time of campaign activities, we've passed that level. But there were some issues being considered that you saw, and one would say motivated you to contest the election, River G County District 3. You care to tell us some of those issues?
Well, there are 4, if I would say 4 in terms of the caption that I would say that I didn't see from my past leader, because he had 2 terms, and the 4 on one side has to do with the 3 of them have to do with the cardinal function that we always say is a cliche, the cardinal function of the lawmaker: representation, lawmaking, and oversight. And then on the other hand, moral intervention. That's a new one we try to bring up, because of the lack of full capacity of the government. So we try to introduce that everyone will use, as the basis of getting to the house, your moral intervention. And what are we talking about? Those things that government cannot do for the people, or government is not doing for the people. You try to, as a person who has a little bit of it, you try to give back. That's what we call the moral intervention. Okay. But the other three ones that we talk about, we told our people why it is true that our representative at the time was not performing those functions. We were going to come in to do smart law making, not just putting law on the floor.
Smart law making.
Smart law making.
And what is smart law
making? Smart
making?
in the sense of just a managerial term. You're talking about strategic, manageable. You're talking about the issue of what is attainable. Whether it is realistic and whether it's timely. Okay, that's the same thing. Anything you do out there in the professional sector can also be reflected into lawmaking, because if you don't do smart lawmaking, you will bring any kind of law to the people, and the law cannot be enforceable. And I can give you an example. One of the laws that was not actually enforceable at the time was the conduct. Okay,
the code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
Okay.
You know that because the way the Supreme Court ruled on it, it tells you that it was not a smart law. Yes. There are a lot of other ones that are there. Today you can see to even implement it, they are difficult. Then also we talk about robust oversight. Not just an oversight where you wait, you call reactionary oversight. Something happened that you come or you want to get involved. No. But the robust one will be before it goes wrong, you'll be able to tackle it. So if you see that a given institution should be doing certain things on a periodic basis, then you got to make sure that maybe on a quarterly basis you make a check, or even on a daily basis you keep informed. Then we talk about inclusive representation. Sometimes people say that the media, for example, I'm not accountable to the media, I'm accountable to. So no, in representation you are accountable to everybody, even the NGOs. Anyone who have a stake in your country or in your district, you are accountable to those people. So people in my district, people from my district living here, the general public, because now I will be called representative of Liberia, representative of Virginia County, representative of District 3, okay, and also representative of the region. So I will be accountable to everybody, and making sure that even those citizens of Virginia County who are in the diaspora, okay, I should be able to provide information to them on activities back home and activities in the country. So that's the kind of inclusive representation we're talking about. And like we say, the moral intervention, where we want to make sure that we focus on issues that will affect our people's lives through agriculture, health, and that of our education.
Why these strategies are being employed by you?
Because that's what our people really, really need. If you go to Refugee County, it tells you that indeed they need education. Not just only the formal one, the vocational one, and also, I would say, we always call it one of common sense, okay? And also, the health issue is very terrible. Just a few weeks ago, a lady who was very instrumental in my campaign, she came from as far as Mali, integrated into our society, married to a citizen of Refugee County. She was there. There's a lady who, even if she hears a siren, okay, she will be thinking that I'm the one coming, okay, and election went over. She now waiting to come and see me, going back to say thank you. She want to give birth. The child died, and she died.
Wow.
No blood and other thing. So the level of infant mortality and maternal mortality is high, and we need to make sure that we address those. Also, agriculture, we got a vast land, yet our people, by this time now, the food shortage is high in Virginia County.
Food shortage?
Oh, yeah.
What is leading to that?
Well, it is dated far back. Let me tell you something. None of our people in the Southeast are lazy people, but bar rules, I can say, account for that. I can also tell you the fact that if I go, for example, in a simple way, if I go to make a farm today, and I bring in a lot of produce from my farm, I don't find buyer. If I come to the market day and I cannot find buyer, sometimes I banjo it. Let's put it that way. And banjo is not a good economic reality. banjo should be for a given period of time. It should not be continuing because it affects your capital. Okay, so if I banjo it, the next time I won't come with that much, and the fact I won't come with that much, I will not have the strength to be able to produce that much because there's no storage facility, there's no method of storage and other thing. So based on that, I'll have to scale my level of production to the one I can eat, what we call now, or even if I want to trade now, it will be into more trading. Okay, so that'll be much. So at that level, as soon as December comes and I'm merrymaking, that's a festive season. But after the festive season, I have little or nothing left. I have to now buy. Even though I have farmed and produced rice, but I'm buying now imported rice. Those are kind of things. And we're trying to see how best we can work with the government, work with partners to ensure that those kind of things, after 6 years of this government activity, we should not be experiencing it. If we experience it, it should be infrequent, but not frequently.
Are the major issues hindering your 100% probably the fitness of the country? Like you said, you're trying to move on. Are these things, or are there some of the issues that are impeding Rivergy County that being 100% okay today?
Oh yeah, they are major. They are major, and the issue of health, issue of education, the issue of agriculture, they are very, very much major. And I can tell anybody, we got the issue of reconciliation, we got some tribal dispute and thing. But I can tell you, most of the tribal dispute or those or land dispute and thing, they are the result inequality, they are result economic hardship. I can tell you that because on the goodness hypothesis, it's been clear that at the given beginning of society, there will be a gap of inequality, and those inequality will produce what we call insecurity. Okay, yeah. So you always see people not being reconciled because the poor man cannot reconcile with the rich man, only because a dollar from the rich is 1,000 to the poor.
Okay. Now, how do you intend to inculcate this smart lawmaking to address the problems has been highlighted by you?
Yeah. So we will be key on bills. We are trying to work with institutions that their activity, focus on those areas, education, health, and agriculture. So where we see laws, that should be effective, they are not because of some constraint or the way they are written by their letters, then we got to work with the institutions to ensure that indeed there be some amendment. Where we see federal lawmakers bring in laws that we believe that they are counterproductive to those institution performances, then we also need to make sure that we lobby with other lawmakers that those bills are not passed into law. So there are a lot of things will happen. We're not just only going to be passing law. I don't want to be a person who they call the bill man. I don't want to be a bill man every time I have a bill on the floor. But I want to be somebody who will ensure that the kind of bill on the floor and the one that will be passed into law are the rightful one that will be good for Liberian people. I will not win at all times, but I will fight to win at all times.
And seriously, when you come from southeastern Liberia, it's a problem because, like you put it, the issue of road connectivity is a serious impediment for Rivergy County. And does it suggest that probably there will be a legislation by that region, probably calling on the legislature to pass, a bill on that will seek road connectivity?
No, we already have series of institutions established. We have the Road Authority and so forth. I think the issue about how do we navigate into the process of the budget. How do we convince? I don't think we convince the president. He said it in his message. But how do we work with those things that he said in his message to ensure that the coastal road issue are done? And most of the things that will drive it will have to be our sincerity to investment and the way we attract investors. At the same time, not compromising our own integrity to ensuring those. So the budget president, I'm a member of the budget Ways, Means and Finance Committee, and we believe that nobody can actually, dispute the fact that the Southeastern Road, along with the Northern Belt Road, need to be fixed. Nobody can dispute that. So if we put that in the budget, I think Liberian people will accept that.
There is an old adage in the country that says we are good at making laws, but the implementation process is kind of tight in our country.
Well, we are good at making laws and implementation. That's why it comes in oversight. and we say robust oversight. So we make laws, but then we don't follow up. Isn't so? In some cases, they are being followed up, but sometimes the follow up is not periodic. It is what we call ad hoc. Okay, so we need to have a systematic approach to making a follow up, a periodic approach. So the budget process call for, even within our public accounts committee. I'm also a member of the public accounts committee. Okay, and it call for periodic reporting. So if we have the fiscal return and is on time and we are addressing the alternate reports, I think we will go somewhere. Another issue is the timely passage of the budget. If you want to execute the budget, then it should be passed on time. Yeah, we have our level of ceasing, and for the most part, Liberia is a rainy country. So if our budget for rule, and we don't pass the budget on time, the allocation process and the implementation of the project, even the PPCT process, also those are logical instruments and policies to implement our project. We cannot overlook those. Okay, the allocation process, getting the allotment, okay, and then the PPCC process, okay, and then also the implementation of the project. So for us to achieve those, we have to be on time. Okay. The budget got to be on time.
So now you just reminded me of this budget situation. There are reports suggesting that the recast budget have been submitted to the legislature. Can you bring us up to speed? You have any knowledge about the recast budget being submitted to the legislature?
But you have the information. Can you tell me?
Is it confirmed? Is it confirmed?
I'm not the speaker. Okay. I'm not the chairman of the Ways and Means. But as far as I'm concerned, I've not seen it. I don't know.
But you are a member of the committee.
I'm not aware.
Okay.
It's not off the record. I'm saying clearly to you that our Francis said Dopoe from Rivachi County, member of the Ways and Means Committee, is not aware that the budget has been submitted to the legislature.
Okay. So, in order to have the process running, like you put it, you will have to have the budget running, and I know, as a member of that committee, you want to push to ensure that the budget will come to the legislature in time.
That is important in any financial dispensation. That is important to implement what you want to do. Budget is a constraint, and a constraint at a given point in time. Budget is not open-ended. A budget is a constraint at a given point in time. So all the things you want to do and what is available to you at a given point in time. So if you want to achieve something from July 1 to June 30th, okay, in the fiscal year period, then we will start acting from July 1. So when it delays, then bear in mind that any other thing you'll be doing in the process will be an emergency thing. You have to understand that. It will not fall in place because you did it in time. You said, this is my budget. From this period to this period, I will achieve this. But yet, in the middle of the period, you brought in the budget. Will you achieve it? I said, no. Let me be realistic here. We need to have a time. That's what we are fighting for. And I believe that my chairman and the current speaker and the President Putin, they all understand that indeed these are the key issue, fundamental issue, or what we call rudimentary issue to achieving performance in our governing system.
Considering the fiscal year of the country, when will you expect the budget to be before the legislature?
April.
Okay.
April. And you give a lot of time to discuss the budget. Okay? And let me tell you something. We want to reach to a point where even the legislature has a budget before it waiting. So that when the president delays the budget, the president means the executive delays the budget, we will put the budget on the floor. We will reach to that point. We are working on that.
Do you have probably the technocrats in terms of crafting a set budget?
The legislative budget office is there, okay? But I can tell you within the legislature, there are individuals who have the expertise. I have served on the Revenue Projection Committee in 2008, 2009, 2010, yes, and also work with the Ministry of Finance, with the Revenue Authority, the National Port Authority. I come from a background, a financial background. Two, there are other individuals like Dixon Sibo, like Hansen Kiazulu, who have said a Controller General, like let me speak of Kun, okay? I'm talking about Richie Kun, okay? And a good number of financial guys are in there, and I can tell you Clarence Guy and other people there, okay? So we can tell you that you're not going to bring a budget to all, and you think because it's so big that we can't read it.
How would that commensurate with the budget that will come from the executive? Probably, if there will be any.
No, some of the things you do, let me tell you something. Most of the things we do in the executive there, they are all recurrent issues, except for other major projects now, okay? So when you submit a budget to me today, I know that you do a forecast. For example, currently, over time you had a medium-term expenditure framework in which you gave a medium-term 3 to 5 year budget or projection. So based on what you submit to us, we can develop that indeed based on your performance because you gave a quarterly report. You can tell me that you're going to say build a road from this point to this point, maybe a 4-mile road, okay, and then you need $4 million, but then we are giving you $3 million and you are not building a road, and you say you need another $4 million. On what basis? So I already know that indeed you got some issue. So the budget process is just like, look, it's not as simple as the honorable man may understand, but it's as simple as intellectual like us we understand.
Being someone who having the financial experience and considering President Weah State of the Nation address in which he said the country is broke, where are we as a legislator?
Let me be clear with you. Francis Dopoe comes from the ruling, the past, now Opposition Unity Party. Then the ruling Unity Party. I support President Weah comment 100, and I would say 50% is anything to say that the country is broke. It was confirmed by the Ministry of Finance. It was confirmed by the Liberian Revenue Authority. It's confirmed by the Central Bank of Liberia. The country is broke. What we're doing now is to make sure that we look around and see how we can enhance ways and means to ensure that the country get liquid or solvent in any way. Now we're not flexible. If there's a severe disaster that will cost up to $50 million, Liberia will go begging. I'm telling you that. So we are actually broke.
What are the steps taken by the legislature in the spirit of coordination with that of the executive, and in showing that probably we can have something in our covers?
Well, that's what we have the Ways and Means Committee. So the committee, I believe that the committee is going to meet and to look around and see how we can handle the situation working with the executive. Because we know that we are broke now. It's not a secret anymore. We are broke. So should we be back or not just sitting that we are broke? Should we give up? We need to find a way. We can't go stealing as a government, to get solvent. We can go begging, but we cannot continue begging. We can also work in the way. We also cut down our appetite. I want to say it a simple way because they say austerity measure. Okay, we cut down our appetite. Those things we desire to do, those things that we say, oh yeah, and they put it away. The guy like to drink full, bottle of Heineken, and then he knows that he's not there anymore, or he's not to that level. Why can't he drink one? Does he have to go begging to drink full? No, he can drink one. So that's the kind of measure. Reduce your appetite, okay? Okay, so cut down some things you thought that they were so important to you, but you see, they're not really a priority. It's not about life and death. Except those issues that require life and death, then you can make sure that you prioritize those. The other one is just for fantasy. Somebody say, we're taking a trip and go to first class and blah, blah, blah. Those are fantasy. To lead me to where I'm going, a first class is no different from the economic class.
As a legislator, what are those things you think should be considered as those that should be cut down?
Well, those things that they don't have economic produce. They don't have results. They don't produce economically. You cut down on them. Yeah, let me be. I will be general to say, but I just told you something.
Okay.
Is it economical for you to work?
Considering.
Should I have to make a trip to get? Okay. Should I have to make a trip to Ghana? To get, say, a master degree in economics, when I can obtain a master degree in economics in Liberia? Should the government fund that if the government is constrained? I said no. You get it clear? Should I have to ride first class because I'm called managing director of a PLC or I'm called minister of finance? Or
you have the portfolio.
I have to go. That's not portfolio issue. If you call for me to get in Keke to get to the point I'm going to get some money, and there's a traffic. When you go to the bank on Saturday, and it pass and the bank will close at 1, and it's 12:45, there's a traffic on the bridge. What do you want to achieve? Portfolio? I will get on a pen and get to the bank and get my money. What did I achieve? I achieved getting the money.
Don't you think that would be reducing your morale or prestige?
It would not reduce your morale because the primary needs are clear. You need food, clothing, shelter to survive. That's the self-esteem talk about. Those are the things that bring us self-esteem. If you don't achieve them, you open like a man who has $50 in the bank and instead of go credit us $200. What difference it makes for you? You say I save $50, but I go credit us. So wake up morale. You don't have it. So there's not about morale. There's no prestige issue. It's the reality. And we need to go by the reality. We also need to make sure that the value for money should be attained. There are people who are moonlighting. Moonlighting would mean somebody who is working, for example, at JFK, and he's not going full-time and leave the work, but getting full-time pay, and in the evening hour, whatever time they have a clinic running down somewhere. That's moonlighting. That's a waste.
How do you intend to
you are not
come
giving,
down on...
I'm giving an example.
Okay. Right.
That's moonlighting.
Right.
Okay. You have a job to do. You're not giving the full-time time because you got other things to do. You leave it and go and do it. So you are cutting time. You know that you have something to do. So it better somebody who can put in the full-time and get the pay there. So there are people who own 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 payroll. Some people on payroll, they are even around. Okay. So those are the common facts that in the government. The government budget is big. And it's a cash-based budget, so there's a money come in and how you go out. Okay.
So it means that the 54th legislature is going to ensure probably some bit of cuts in the budget.
I'm hoping so. I'm just one. If I call 5 or 10, then 10. We done to tear, but I believe that a good number of us is my hope that we'll make sure not just cutting, but cutting realistically.
Cutting realistically.
Yes.
Wow. That would be the choice of word.
Yeah, because you just come and cut because it was 50, you call it to 25. For what? Be realistic. Sometimes you even come to me with a low budget because you're afraid. There are some land ministry agency who will come because they feel that overtime and they are being undercapitalized, the other things they're not performing. So they always bring in the same kind of budget they can bring. Maybe those institutions, they are income producing institutions. So we could cut and give them more. So they can produce more. Look, we should also be thinking about investing into institutions that will give us long-term economic benefit. It's not just, most of the time our budget issue look around is the operational budget issue. Like I'm gonna be, they will say I'm not buyer from the LRA. Most of the time LRA budget is operational. It should be investment based. At some point in time, you need to take some money and put into LRA for investment and make sure that the money will not come at the same time. Because the question has been, if we put the money here, we will get it by the same. No. It may have a long-term, 3-year, 4-year benefit. But once those things are set up, you start to recoup the benefit over time.
Okay. Now, let's leave the financial aspect and talk about reconciliation. You spoke of some bit of healing some wounds in River G County. I know this should cut across Liberia in terms of reconciliation. What is the 54th legislature doing?
Well, I think the 54th legislature from the Senate end, they have before then the Land Right Act.
Okay.
And I think they are reviewing it in my thinking, and I'm hoping that they can look at those issues that
even though it has been parading the corridors.
Well, I'm saying whether it's moved by ACL or someone taking it around, but what I do know is that those things that they have with, those instruments that they have with them, and when they believe that they are issues that are not so important for now, they will take them up and get back to the host for concurrence and make sure that they have it. And so we don't delay, because the Land Right Act is very important, because it will also help to know how we can address the land matter too. Okay. Also, we also think about that other thing, because you see the tribal issue is more important than most of the things we're discussing in Liberia about other people getting this one and that one. So we be able to address it. Someone need to have ownership. Our people need to feel that they own the land. You cannot be trading the land with somebody else. When the man who's supposed to trade the land does not have legitimate right to the land. like say, like give somebody outside, say a non-legal ownership to land and this. But the man,
and that's drawing me into,
but the man who has the man who you claim, the man who you claim has the land does not fully have the land. So would you address that first, okay? So because it will always create more dispute. In fact, the country will become racist when those things are not handled. You see, racism is not about just what is the letter of it. It is the application of it. There are countries on this earth, there is no letter in their constitution about racism. But in practice, it is seen. Look at America, don't hide it. It's a fact. It's not written in their constitution that a Negro cannot own land or this. But in real practice, that is racism. Tell me how many Liberians that own a land beside an apartment building.
Should that be probably a reason or cause that the issue of dual citizenship should not be granted?
Did you see the bill on dual citizenship that was sent to the House?
The one coming from the citizen or the one coming from the Councillor Funati Kofa and others?
The one that come from my fellow lawmaker.
Councillor Funati Kofa and others.
The one that come from my fellow lawmaker. You saw that?
Suggesting some procedures that no one should go above 5 acres and investment or industrial land ownership should be around 50 acres of land. The 2 years period you should start on the. But is it enough?
So Machiavellian from from Italy, from Nato Venice, put it that way, okay, or Sir Otto von Bismarck. He comes to Liberia with 25 children, and they all grown up above 18. He's a very rich man. He gave each of them money to go and buy 5 acres each. How many do you think he owned? You can think about that.
Are you fighting in the process?
Fighting? I'm terrified.
That there should be no dual citizenship?
No, that's not what the bill says.
Okay.
If there's a bill that says dual citizenship,
the land ownership,
the bill says citizenship to non-Negroes. And in that bill, it says anybody who is a citizen of Liberia while living in other country can be a citizen. So it didn't say Liberians who were one citizens of Liberia should be made citizens. It didn't say so. So it's a different bill there. I hope the public understand.
Okay.
I hope they understand and read that bill. That's what it's saying. So when you say any citizen, then you say someone who lived in this country for 5 years. 5 years just they're going to spend time somewhere can be a citizen, whether non-Negro or so. But at the same time, you are pushing a bill that says certain jobs and certain companies or businesses will be set aside for Liberians. So who you call Liberian? When in 5 years time, when I believe that you may open a black factory, I'm a non-Negro, I can just take the citizenship. Because you say again that if I take the citizenship, I can still maintain the other one outside there. So I can take it for the purpose of what? Get involved into a black factory. How does it hurt that person? It hurt Liberia more. We gotta be serious here.
Okay. Now, I know as we're running on, let me get to this issue of the decentralization process of government. I know you know very well, coming from River G County. How is the decentralization process taking place, considering the county service centers being built across the country to help to decentralize government? Is it effective in southeastern Liberia?
Having the structure, having the architectural framework from a physical point of view, does that necessarily mean that it can be effective? It has to have blood running in the vein. I cannot be using the services or performing the services or operationalizing the services and I don't have a return. Are these counties having a return from the services? Because if they are having a return from the services, I think the local government would be so much interested.
That's the financial return you're talking about.
Obviously, you need to have some form of revenue sharing to get it done. In fact,
have you not been able to establish that?
The Local Government Act has component of it, which is very important. But I tell you, the Local Government Act is now at the Senate, and for some justifiable and unjustifiable reasons, it's being debated. Because you have a whole document And I may agree with one point of it, I may not agree with the other point of it, okay? So it will be headed over there. But we are interested to knowing that, things that basic registration, passport, getting marriage certificate, those are local government things. Those are services performed. So if the service is being performed, why would national government claim or service that you're not performing? You're performing it at the local level, so they both claim the service. They didn't get paid for it.
So as a member of the caucus, considering what you're saying, are you probably willing now to help to straighten up things and support the country?
Oh yes. I'm telling you, Tuesday will be a very good day. A lot of things will be coming on Tuesday, and that will seek the attention of Liberian people in plenary.
That's going to be inclusive of your support for
a couple of friends are coming up. Yeah, a couple of friends are coming up with that thinking, and we think it's very important that we consider that. Look, when you want things to work better, there should be cost and revenue sharing. So when the cost is there, the cost, I'm enjoying the cost. I'm incurring the cost, I should enjoy the benefit. That's the whole thing about the entire, cost benefit analysis in the social context. Okay, so the county performing the services, they have to have a direct impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's try to have some bit of interaction with you, the public. 0777-700-995. Drop your calls in now so that we can have some bit of interaction. I will take at most 5 callers on the line and rejoin River G County District 3 lawmaker who will respond then. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to your studio guests.
Yes, good afternoon.
I'm calling from Freeport.
Okay.
I listened to your studio guests, but I want to find out as relates to the issue of government being broke. Have you asked yourself, which is a national legislature now, or the government, why the government is broke? Because these are fundamental issues or questions we need to ask ourselves. There is a possibility that somebody may have mismanaged the system that led the government to be insolvent. Because if the government is broke, we get part of the government is broke, the causes of making the government broke, we are not being able to establish it. It will always happen. If you say it's on the financial background, I guess that you have read the issue of Enron with that of Arthur Anderson. Investigation went on. Those who created the problem that led to the entity insolvency, they were punished. Some of them restituted the funding, and some of them went to jail for a certain number of years to serve as deterrent. I listened to the central bank governor. If you could recall, because for me,
so let's try to summarize because we have the news coming up at 6 o'clock and we'll have. Okay.
When Dr. Mildew was serving as central bank governor, he said that when they took over from Judy Bryant, he left $5 million in the cover as reserve, $80 million in government account, and in 12 years they were able to fight. And the country reserve went as far as $500 million, which is $500 million, meaning increasing the reserve requirement of commercial buying, insurance. So everything went up to $500 million. And President Sadiq, in your 2016 annual message, we read some of these things.
Okay.
After the government is leaving now, he said it's brought $5 million reserve. What happened to the $495 million?
Okay, all right. You will respond.
That's question we should be asking ourselves.
Okay, all right.
What happened to the government balance after you are running the country with budget support, the taxes, resources up to $600 million, $550 million, $495 million? Why we have this amount of government balance?
All right.
Can we allow the central bank be audited by GSE or ECOWAS audit or some international audit, that the audit will be reported to the national legislature to make informed decisions, and then other countries every quarter the audit audit is presented to the legislature to know the content liquidity. But we are not being able to do it.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll probably take 2 other callers because we're kind of running up to the news. If we can have 2 more callers on the line. Yes, let's take this caller. You have to be brief in
good evening.
Yes, good evening. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you,
Good evening.
Ojuku, Oboswa, Ojuku. I join from district number 4.
Okay, let's hear you quickly.
I listened to your exposition, and I think it is prudent. We as Liberians and you people are also leading us. We bear beyond indulgence. Now please play the honorable role that this country can be a better place. Honorable, if you are drinking mineral water in a mineral bottle, let our people in the rural area drink their water in the plastic bag at least.
Okay.
There is no means that we need to import mineral water in our country. We need to create avenue that our people will live a good life. We need to create avenue that our people will have a good status of our country. All level, you people to play the honorable role, the educational role, that our people can live and have a good survivability. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, well, we will join you because we're running up for the news now. So, okay, yes.
The last caller interests me. Oh, but they got mineral water factory in Waji County and that of Maryland County. So I don't know from one point you speak because there are a lot of. If you look at the custom tariff and other laws that are there, they are also there making sure that Liberians will have the incentive to produce water. Most of the mineral water companies here mineral water that produce in Liberia. So I don't know from what point you're talking about, but when we're talking about the equitable distribution of the country wealth, yes, that's part of our being over there. The first caller talked about the issue about what are we doing and doing. Yes, it's true. What you just said in other countries that were happening here. I'm a member of the Public Account Committee, and on Monday there will be a beginning hearing on the various audit report that was conducted by the GAC. So yes, indeed, we are concerned. That's why the host decided to invite the Ministry of Finance, the LRA, and that of the Central Bank in relation to why the country is broke and what can be done. So let me be clear with you. Yes, the Honorable House is doing 54, is doing what it can to make it better. And I can assure you, we will strive to make it better along with you, because sometimes when we come with some strong recommendation, sometimes people like to say, oh, they do the right thing, but when the right thing starts from them, then it's the wrong thing. So they understand that when the right thing starts from you, it should not be the wrong thing. Thank you.
So let's say thank you very much for coming. We're running up to the news time, and we look forward to having other engagements with you.
With pleasure. Welcome anytime. Economic, social, political, I'm around.
All right. Well, he's Representative Francis Dopoe of Riverview County, District number 3. And this is how I go home on this presentation of Wholquoi Conversation here on 99.5. Your Friday friend, Wholquoi Yeahgar is my name. Thanks for being right there, and join us hopefully next Friday. We will be around here again with another presentation of the program. Until then, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Thanks to Dulad and Monique who have coordinated the Facebook presentation of this program. Thanks very much and have yourself a pleasant good weekend.